All right, I think we're finally live now. Let's see. I hope we are. Anyway, hope you guys are doing well out there on a beautiful Sunday. We're out here, of course, on a Sunday, relaxing, giving you a little podcast today. Of course, you guys can always reach out to me on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Many ways to reach out to us on the program, of course, and you can use the chat board, of course, the YouTube chat board. We got the live chat, the super chat going on, as always. Got a couple things today to talk about. Obviously, we're working our way to returns on everything from football to basketball to hockey. I don't know if baseball is ever going to figure it out. We had some MMA fights as Amanda ended up winning last night as expected. And I guess the big news in the MMA this morning has got to be Conor McGregor retiring early. Or retiring for the third time, right? Because he retired in 16, he retired in 19. This is just one of those deals where it's kind of crazy. This is the third time he retires. And I got to tell you something, guys. Look, I'm an MMA fan, but I'm not a fanatic, or I'm not one of those guys that knows the game inside and out. But he has turned into the guy that I root against, right? And the problem is, in sports, you can have a big mouth, but you got to back it up. You know, Muhammad Ali did a lot of talking, but he backed it all up, and he was the greatest. And Ricky Henderson can showboat and do all that, but he was, the man. Michael Jordan probably did a lot of talking on the court, not necessarily in public, but a guy that can back it up too, you know what I mean? And so Conor was a guy that was backing up his talk until Khabib got a hold of him. And once Khabib got a hold of him, it was over. And he took a severe beating. And, you can tell me all you want. The Cowboy Cerrone's fight was, what's it called? It was successful and financially and all of that. But to me, it really showed that he had fallen. And then when you had Justin Gaethje kind of, I would say, talking him down, in other words, like saying, a fight with him is not important right now. It's not a priority for me. Conor had fallen in the totem pole of priorities in the UFC. And I think that's what he saw. And he saw that nobody's offering him any fights, and nobody is offering him the good fights. And so, I think for a while now, he got human. What was it? I think it was it Rocky 2? Right? Where he goes to beg Mick to train him, or 3. I think it might have been 3, actually. It might have been with Clubber Lang. Yeah, I think it was 3. When he smacks him in the face and the eye, because he doesn't see it from one side coming, and all that stuff. And then there was a part where he's training, right? And he's in this fancy gym and in a hotel ballroom, and people are kissing him and all that. And remember when Mick tells him, you got human, kid. And I think there's a part of Conor, as much of a jerk as he is, I think the money has also made him somewhat human. And so now he talks about how he's sitting around waiting, and that there's nothing happening, and that the fight game doesn't bring it to him and all that. I think Conor McGregor is dealing with the fact that you're not a draw anymore. You're not the main draw anymore. People aren't clamoring to see you. And if they're clamoring to see you, and listen, we all need the evil man, right? And that's kind of, you got to play the bad guy. Somebody's got to play the bad guy role. He can play that bad guy role. But I think a lot of people have kind of reached the point with Conor that they're rooting against him. That's kind of what it is. There aren't a lot of people that are truly rooting for Conor anymore. And it's hard to root for a guy when you watch him in a bar hit a 70-year-old man. And it's like, what's wrong with you? It's hard to have sympathy for people like that, and let me tell you, that's what police officers are going through right now, because video after video after video is coming out and exposing the bad cops out there, right? And this is a time where there's momentum, and now people are watching this. You've got America's attention, and now they're piling on. Well, they've been piling on Conor now since he got his ass kicked by Khabib. Look, throwing what was it, a dolly, right? Was it a dolly? I think it was, that he threw into the bus and shattered the glass and injured people and all that, hitting the old man, getting his ass kicked by Khabib. These are all things that have knocked him down, because when you do the stuff that you did at the bus and at the old man and some of the other things that he's done, that knocks you off of the perch of a likable guy, right? Because that's not how he's viewed. He's not viewed as a likable guy. And so now this is what ends up happening, that you got a guy that loses value because people don't like him. And now when you lose, then you now lose the value. See, you can be a bad guy, but you got to win. That's the only way you're going to survive. You can talk, but you got to win. Okay? And if you want to overcome the bad PR, you got to dominate. And he's not dominating. And when Cowboy Cerrone is your best fight since Khabib, it doesn't, create a nice resume for you. And then when the elite fighters Khabib, why would Khabib give him another fight? And if you're Justin Gaethje, you feel you're better than Conor at this point, so you have everything to lose. So you're better off waiting for Khabib instead, right? We had to wait for Ramadan, we have to wait for the visa, we have to wait for everything, and now we get it in September. But we get the fight that everybody wants, because more people want to see Gaethje and Khabib than they do with Conor, because a lot of people are thinking Conor's done already at this point, So it just it's an interesting dynamic that's developed with Conor McGregor, and it's interesting because it shows you how even fighters can get human in this process. You know what I mean? And that's I think what's happened to Conor now. He's gotten a little bit more human. The only question I have is, how's he going to make money from here on out? Because I don't think your whiskey becomes a long-time seller if you don't have the name out there on the market. And so unless he feels he can live off of his, because I don't know what else is he going to do. I don't know what other skill set he has that you would actually say, okay, well, this is what we need to do here, and I can make plenty of money. I can make a good living doing this. I can't see him making a good living doing any of that stuff. But hey, that's just me. Anyway, remember, you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. It's really simple, folks. All you got to do is dial 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. You want to get in also on the YouTube chat board. That's the way you can chime in, which we've already got DraftKings FanDuel GPP. Man of 1,005 holes says Sunday edition. Let's do it. I didn't do anything on Saturday, right? So I figured I'll do it. This won't be a long podcast. I'm not doing hours or anything today. It'll be a short podcast. But I figured, hey, it's a Sunday. We got a couple things to talk about. Why not have a little fun? I didn't do anything on Saturday on Sirius, so get it going. Have a little Sunday show with you all out here and hang out a little bit, and then I'll go enjoy the family and watch some television and enjoy the videos and all the other things that. Yesterday I watched a great documentary on the Wrecking Crew, and that's that band of musicians back in the it started like somewhere in the late 50s, but mostly 60s. And they were a part of almost every band back in the day. They helped write. I mean, it's endless the amount of tunes from Frank Sinatra to Nancy Sinatra to the Beach Boys to the Monkees, you name it. They worked with them and created a lot of the music from back in those days. Once we got to the 70s, musicians really took more to the forefront, and they made their own music like they have from, we still have those times where the music is being created by somebody else and then the artist just sings it. I mean, that still happens to this day, of course. But most of the artists now, they are their own musicians too. So, but back in the 60s, it was all over the place. And so it was a great, great, great Carol Kay, probably one of the best bassists in the history of music, and nobody knows about her. And Tommy Tedesco and all those kind of people that, probably one of the greatest guitarists and nobody knows about him and stuff like that. So just an interesting story how they were a part of all this music and the people that find out about, if you get a chance, I saw it on YouTube actually, and it's free. So you could go to YouTube, they got a couple commercial breaks, but they're like 30 seconds, 50 seconds, whatever. It's nothing. But the Wrecking Crew, if you get to watch that documentary, if you got some time today and you're hanging out right here on YouTube where you're watching me, you could just go there and you can check out the Wrecking Crew documentary. It's really, really good, man. Really, really good. It's gonna blow you away. If you love music and you love the history of music like I do, so that's what I've been doing a lot the last couple of months. Is I'm just surfing on YouTube and watching shows and documentaries and all kinds of stuff, man. Let's see, what else do we have here? Jay Gelfan, good morning. Oh, did you watch the video I sent you? Yes, I watched the video. Super powerful video. Okay. I loved it how they, as they say, blacken out the NFL. It was, I'll send you an email, Jay, but thank you as always, my brother. I appreciate you. That was a powerful video that you sent me. I would love to, what we need to add to this show? We need to add the capability of doing a split screen where I can play some videos, and that video would be nice to play it here. So I'm going to see if I can look into that. So, because maybe down the line we can also do some of our interviews, Zoom-like, where you're watching me, but you only hear the guest. Maybe if the guest can come on visibly, I'll do both at the same time. So that's something I want to add because, Jay, when you send me that video, and remember, you guys can send me anything over on email, Orlando@BigORadioShow.com. Okay, Orlando@BigORadioShow.com. Everything is Big O Radio Show. The website is BigORadioShow.com. YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud, everything's Big O Radio Show. The only thing that's Big O Show is the Twitter handle. That's the only thing. And I can't change that because then I make one little change to it and the verification goes away. And they don't verify anymore. So got to keep the verification. So anyway, I don't mind the name. I'd rather have it Big O Show. It's just Big O Show is taken up in other things. So I put Big O Radio Show and everything else. So everything is Big O Radio Show pretty much. Let's see. Matthew Walker is in the house. Conor McGregor retired more than he defended his belts. Got arrested more too. That's a good one. I like that. Dolphins Advocate is in the house. Matthew Walker says he wants Adesanya and Jones. Tony Leggett is in the house. I thought Conor fought Floyd decently for the first boxing match. How much did he make off that fight? He made like $100 million. And he didn't fight decent. They smoked his ass in that fight. Drubo says Sunday Fun Day. Jeremy Dorset is in the house. Game 954. Tony Leggett. Let's see. O'Malley is the new McGregor. Okay. Let's see. Game Over 954. There's like an hour interview with Carol Kay on YouTube. Also, yes, go check it out. I started to see Carol Kay interviews. She is like one of the coolest ladies in the history of the planet, right? When you start talking to Carol Kay, it's like, wow. Okay, I just want to hang out with her and just talk music and just listen to her and listen to the stories. She was so good, man. Anyway, so if you get a chance, check out the Wrecking Crew and check out Carol Kay and all that. It's you're gonna love that one. Anyway, a lot of things to talk about. We're gonna have I'm gonna have another podcast, but it'll be all audio later on. But this one I just wanted to do a short video one to kind of connect with you guys over the weekend. I didn't do anything on Saturday and well rested, so I figured, what the hell, I'll do a little podcast here and talk about some of the things that have gone on. The NBA returning. I love the way they have come up with the format, the 22 team format, and it was interesting to hear the commissioner talk about this because he mentioned how important Michael Jordan was in the conversation when he was talking with the owners. And Jordan mentioned how he didn't want the league to go to gimmicks for the playoffs, and that you give the teams that are within striking distance a shot with those 8 games, and then you settle in on your regular 16 teams that you had. And look, let's be honest now. The way everything works out, it's not like the A seed makes a difference in the NBA Finals. They're not going to be in the Final Four. They're not going to be in the Final Two. They would be lucky to just win one round because they're playing the number 1 seed. So there's no reason that the A seed in the East should beat Milwaukee, and there's no reason the A seed in the West is going to beat the Lakers. Right? So it's a whole load of mental masturbation why we're worried about, the teams just on the outside looking in. They're on the outside looking in because they're not good enough. And in the end, if they were good enough to be the 7th or 8th seed, we don't need to bother ourselves that much with it. So they have designed everything, I think, perfectly. Now, will it work? None of us know. Because they're going to test every day. They're going to try to keep people as trapped as much as possible, right? I know that that's what they're trying to do. But there are still things that you can't control, and I think there's still unknowns about this virus that they're trying to figure out, right? And so I think that that's one of those issues that we have going on with all of this, that this is a situation where we're all hoping that it survives, right? We're all hoping that we can see the season out. It's just, because of this virus stuff, we have no idea. None of us know how long this thing's going to be around with us. We still don't know how long you can walk around being asymptomatic, because we hear about all kinds of different timelines. And I there's still a part of me that wonders, is it completely detectable early on? You know what I mean? And that would be a huge difference in transmitting the disease. And I get concerned, obviously, because we just opened the country, and then all the protesting going on, which, by the way, it's been really nice the last couple of days. I guess all these Antifa people already got arrested. All the bad people that were out, they got arrested. So now all the good people that are out to do good and protest are pretty much out there, and they've been really peaceful. And it's been very impressive that finally the protesters have the stage and not the people that are trying to, change the message, which, that's kind of been our problem in this country. Now we have enough people listening. Think about this. If there was no COVID, how many more people would be out on the streets? I know I would have gone to a rally or two myself already. Me, my daughter, and my wife would have already been at one of the rallies. I can guarantee you, I just can't go. I refuse to go. I'm not going to a restaurant. I'm taking out. That's it. I will not eat inside a restaurant. I'm not going to a concert. I can't, man. I got 5 stents in my heart. I can't. I got to be as paranoid as possible, because that thing takes people out. And if you have a pre-existing condition, this mofo finishes you off, man. And, I don't want to check out yet. want to hang around a little longer in this world, you know? So good stuff by the NBA, the way they're getting this thing going. I just can't wait till July. That's the problem now, is waiting till everything. Although that's the end of July. The good thing is the MLS will be early July. So we'll get soccer back first, and then we'll get basketball and hockey back, and then we could get moving forward with some of these sports. And then I don't know what's going to happen with baseball. They're a bunch of idiots. You know, the other thing I was thinking about with the protests, I was wondering about this. Can you guys answer something for me? Those of you that are on the chat board, if you want to address it on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, please send it in at 786-322-1105. We'll read them out. You can post it on the chat board if you want here. Major League Baseball, they have a real problem connecting with people, right? A real problem selling their sport. And I tell you guys this all the time, that basketball and football, they market themselves. They're in commercials all over the place. They're on social media. Let me ask you something. What's going on in our country right now? Major protests are going on right now, aren't they? What leagues do you see with the players? It's two leagues, right? It's the NBA and the NFL. Where's Major League Baseball? I'm just wondering. That's why they don't get it. They don't get anything. They don't know how to connect on a marketing level. They don't know how to connect on a social media level. They don't know how to connect socially. Seriously. Where's baseball? Why is it that those morons don't know how to sell their sport at all? And I know what you're saying. Some of you might be picking up on this because I'm anticipating it. Well, wouldn't that be dirty that they're using a protest to sell their sport? Yes, you're right. But the difference is that the NFL and the NBA, they're not trying to market. They actually give a shit. They actually connect. They actually want to reason. They want to understand. Some of them, because they're black, they've experienced it. So they want to share. Why can't Major League Baseball players do the same thing? What was it, like 50 Bronco players? Can we get 5 entire major leaguers? I'm not asking to get 5 Rays, 5 Marlins, 5 Yankees. I'm certainly not asking to get 20. I'm just wondering, where's baseball? You want to know why your sport is going like this down the drain every year? Okay? Enjoy this TV contract that you got last. It's over. It's over. It's baffling to me, dude. When I watch what's going on out there socially, and I see 2 sports, and there's a reason why they're the monsters in our country. Because they connect with America in every way. And you want people to like you, you want people to support you, you want people to believe in you, you're going to have to do some of these kind of things. You're lazy. You don't sell your sport on social media. You're lazy. You don't market yourself enough. You're lazy. You don't connect with fans. And now there's an opportunity to be part of a social activist, and you fail miserably. I don't think I've seen a story on one baseball player. That still would be shameful. Meanwhile, we got well over 100 NFL and basketball players. Well over. I mean, Broncos alone were 50. Hell, Evander Holyfield is out there, and baseball is not. Just these are things that I wonder about that sport, man. And I love it so much, and I enjoy it. Well, I don't enjoy it nearly as much as I used to, I will admit, because the game's gotten kind of ridiculous with the strikeouts and home runs. It's kind of boring sometimes. But I just wish it would pick up. Let me see what we got on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Let's see. Oh, G from Pennsylvania says he hopes I'm right about Tua going to the Super Bowl in year 3. And I told him, no doubt, man, it's coming. And he says, damn right, it's going to be fun. And it's going to be fun to see the return of the Dolphins. I'm with you, man. Big O, Major League Baseball can't come back till 2021. I expect tickets and jersey prices to go down if the season is canceled. Now, the entire sport is going to be going down when it comes to baseball. Okay? That's just, unfortunately, that's what is. It is what it is. It's just a sport that doesn't get it in any way, shape, or form. Let me see what we got on the chat board here. Let's see. Game 954 is in the house. Banyo says, what's up, Big O? That's cool. I didn't know you did shows on Sunday. Well, I don't normally do them on Sundays or Saturdays, but once in a while I'll pop in and I'll do a show. You know, I'm not doing nothing today, so I don't mind talking a little sports today and having some fun with you all out there and connecting. So, yeah, I mean, why not? I got the rest of the day today to hang out and do nothing, hang out in my house. It's basically what I'm doing. It's not like I'm going out, you know. The paranoia doesn't let me go, unfortunately. Drubo says, I'm so ready for the Heat. Spo talking about championship as usual. I love it, but, you know, I don't really have a lot of faith in the Heat getting a championship this year. I don't even think they're close to it. But it'll be fun to get them back. Maybe they can win a round. I don't see more than that for this team. We'll see. Oh, did you hear about Chris Perkins being let go? Yes, Chris Perkins, Andre Fernandez, and George Richards were all 3 let go from the Athletic. It's a brutal business, folks. It's a brutal business. I keep telling you this over and over and over and over again. And it has nothing to do with competence. You can be a great employee. You can be bringing in a ton of money. It doesn't matter. This is just as cutthroat. And because of the pandemic made it even worse for all these businesses. You know what I mean? But it is brutal. All 3 are great human beings. All 3 are excellent writers and reporters. I hope they bounce back. We need our country to bounce back. We need to get rid of this virus so we can get everybody back to work again. And we can, get some of these jobs back in order, man. Any of you that are at least working a little bit, you're so blessed, man. You're so blessed. And that's the way you should think. You know, I'm not working nearly as much as I should. And I'm blessed to have the little work that I have, and that's fine. I'm happy with it because I know I'm better off than some. Now that we start with this Inter Miami project, now I have another full-time gig, so I'm happy with that. I'm extremely happy with that, obviously, because I've got a family to feed. But this has been brutal on all of us, man. And, you know, we got to root for guys like Chris Perkins and Andre Fernandez and George Richards, man. Those are good people. Good people. A lot of good people losing their jobs nowadays. You all know a whole bunch. Some of you out there right now that are watching, you're a hell of an employee and you got, let go. Julius305 says, Big O, thoughts on Roger Goodell's 180. You know what? Let's elaborate a little bit on Roger Goodell's 180. And what I like about his 180 is that they finally realized their mistake. And while they didn't, flat out come out and say we blackballed Kaepernick, and I still wouldn't go as far as blackballed. You know that? With Kaepernick, look, I've told you guys this. Kaepernick did not want to be a quarterback. Okay, that's bullcrap. He never really wanted to be a quarterback. He wanted to be a social activist, which is what he is now, for a cause. He wasn't a very good one. I still don't think he's a very good one. Because when you're a social activist, you need to be out front and center. And he was barely ever talking and barely out in public. If you're fighting for a cause, get out there, front and center. And he didn't do any of that. And I've talked, over the years, I've talked many examples. He could have rallied people at police stations every time there was some kind of an issue, which every month we would run into a video of some kind of violence against a black person. Cap could have showed up there. He could have motivated other people. He could have gotten people all over to rally and protest in front of these police stations. I've said this for years now, for the last couple of years. He could have gotten this movement started even more. And I tell you, he never really wanted to be a quarterback. Do you know why? Is he more special than Warren Moon? Is Kaepernick more special than Joe Theismann? Is Kaepernick more special than Jeff Garcia? Is he more special than Mark Dixon? Is he more special than Cam Wake? Because they were all stripped of their dream. The NFL told them, "No, you're not good enough." And they said, "Yes, we are. And we're going to prove it to you." And they went back to Canada, to the CFL, and they kicked ass. And then the NFL had to bring them back. And if Kaepernick really wanted to be a quarterback, he would have gone to the CFL, ball out, and that would have forced the NFL to bring him back. Because there aren't 32 good ones on the planet. And he's at least the 32. Not a backup. He's a 32. May not be a top 16 32, but he's a second half 16 32. Where? Whatever. At this point, forget it. He's been out so many years. He's cooked. Can't play anymore. Nobody's going to play football after you're out for 4 years, 5 years. Give me a break. You're done. But my point is, if he really wanted to play, he was young enough. He could have gone to the CFL. He could have showed up the NFL and embarrassed the crap out of the NFL. Because he goes and balls out in the CFL, all that does is bring all the attention. Right? Doug Flutie. Dude, you're a midget. You can't play in this league. You're too short. You're an Oompa Loompa. Get the hell out of here. Goes to Toronto, balls out, they bring him back. So, Kaepernick, he didn't really have a burning desire to be a quarterback anymore. I don't think he had the confidence anymore. Because if he had the confidence, he does what Warren Moon does. All right, I'll go to the CFL, ball out, come back to the NFL, and now I'm in the Hall of Fame. So, to me, stay the activist, okay? And now's your time, front and center, be out there. But don't sell me the BS that you want to be a quarterback. That's that stuff I'm not falling for. As for Roger Goodell, since that was the initial question on Roger Goodell, here's what I would tell you about Roger Goodell. I commend him for taking a page out of the NBA. Because the NBA handles everything the right way. The NBA communicates with its players. They have a great relationship with their players. They defend their players. They protect their players. They are business partners with their players. They don't look down on their players. The NFL does the opposite in all those things. What you saw from Roger Goodell, that mea culpa, that's the NBA. The NBA is the one that has the balls to look at its players and say, hey, we're wrong. You guys are right. We got to do this your way. You're right about that. You know why? NBA owners and the commissioner, they listen. That's the difference. When you got that boss attitude and you don't want to listen, kind of like what we're going through in our country right now, that you're not listening to the other side, right? You're not listening to people telling you about the abuse. So now we need the video, right? We needed it for Ray Rice. We needed it for 9/11. We needed it now for racism. And keep those cameras rolling, by the way. Okay? Hashtag keep those cameras rolling. Don't stop rolling those cameras. But what Roger Goodell did is he learned something from the NBA. Because let's just call it like we see it. The best run league in the United States is the NBA. Not the most powerful, not the most profitable, and not the most popular. Okay? I get it. Football has those titles. But the best run league, and this is finishing 15 lanes or 15 lengths in front of the next horse. Okay? You're crossing the finish line, and the rest of the horses, including the NFL, they're still turning on the fourth pole. And you're crossing the finish line. You're the NBA. It's not even up for a discussion how much better run the NBA is than the NFL. That's what Roger did. Roger did something really smart, and he answered the players. Look, to get the NFL to do this video already as it is amazing. And I know people wanted them to say, well, they didn't come out and say blackballed Kaepernick. Okay, well, now you want too much. They're not going to say that word. They're going to say we didn't listen to the players. Okay? Because, I mean, if they're going to be wrong, I don't want to get it to a point where it's embarrassing. Okay? It's embarrassing enough as it is for the NFL that they don't hire any black head coaches. They don't hire black general managers. You know, it's token guys. That's all it is. You know? It's a shame. It's a shame now. But the good thing is we're opening up eyes. People are maybe realizing their faults. The best part, I think, about all of this is we're exposing all the racists. That's really the part I really enjoy about all of this. The videos, the audio. Did you see that sheriff, or not sheriff? What was it? I have the story here. It is just crazy stuff. It's I tweeted it out. That's what it was. And it's a couple that they were actually accidentally recording themselves. And they were watching the protests and all of that. And they ended up a Naval Academy officer, okay, or a professor, I think it is. Let me read you this story. This is hilarious, okay? Because these are two racist people, and they're watching the coverage going on, right? Scott Bethman, and now former Naval Academy Alumni Association Board of Trustee member, resigned from his position on Saturday after an accidental Facebook Live video broadcast of him and his wife speaking about the Black Lives Matter movement with racist comments and racial slurs. Okay? Now, it says Bethman, 63, and his wife Nancy were watching the news. They started discussing the Black Lives Matter movement, making racist comments and using slurs, including the N-word in the video that was accidentally streamed on Facebook Live. Locals are now calling for action, and he's resigned from his position from the Naval Academy Alumni Association. All right? So it says, somehow I clicked on some live event, Scott Bethman said, can be heard saying now in the live video. And then it goes, I've got emails about how we're supporting and we need to fix this problem. F you, he said in the video. So all the white people have to say something nice to the black B that works in the office, but the black B don't get fired. It's bull S. Management is going to fire the white people. And then Nancy refers to the black community as effing Asians. And Scott uses the N-word. And then the white MFer can't say anything, Bethman said on the live video. That's the point we're making here. These people think like this. And these are the people that need to be exposed. And I'm glad that they're being exposed. I don't know if you saw this story on the Iowa strength coach. Did you guys catch this? The Iowa strength coach now is in some serious hot water. But I have a problem with this now. And I have a problem with Kirk Ferentz. And I'm going to run something by all of you. And you're going to tell me if I'm right or wrong on this. Okay? So, longtime Iowa strength and conditioning coach Chris Doyle has been placed on administrative leave pending an independent review. Kirk Ferentz announced in a video on Saturday while calling this a defining moment for the Iowa Hawkeye program. The decision comes after several former Iowa football players spoke out about negative experiences they and other black players have had while at Iowa under Doyle's supervision. Over the past 24 hours, I've seen some difficult and heartbreaking posts on social media. I appreciate the former players' candor and having been reaching out to many of them individually to hear about their experiences in our program. I am planning on taking all of them in the coming days. This is a process that will take some time, but change begins first. Some local media posts from former players included offensive lineman James Daniels, now with the Bears, who tweeted Friday, "There are too many racial disparities in the Iowa football program. Black players have been treated unfairly far too long." Former Iowa defensive back Emmanuel Rugamba, who transferred to Miami of Ohio, alleged 2 incidents involving Doyle in which he mocked black athletes, as a result, made you walk around the facility on eggshells, and caused anxiety that could be unbearable at times with your dreams and your career on the line. Former Hawkeyes linebacker Terrence Pryor said black athletes had to deal with many racist incidents during their time there, including an incident with Doyle in which he alleged the strength coach told him, "Maybe you should take up rowing or something you know." Wait, black people don't like boats in the water, do they? Now, Ferentz says this will be a diverse group that will be able to share without judgment, so we can all examine where we are today and how can we have a better environment today. This guy has been with the Iowa football program all 21 years with Kirk Ferentz. Let me ask you something. You got a friend? You got a family member you've been around for 21 years that's racist? Did they hide it for 21 years? They never showed it? Because I find that to be a whole load of crap. So the strength coach and Kirk Ferentz have hung out for 21 years. Do you know how many conversations those guys have been a part of? Do you know how many road trips, meetings, minutes those men have spent? And you're going to tell me in 21 years, you never heard a racist thing out of Chris Doyle? That this is the first time Kirk Ferentz, after 21 years, never had a player come up to him and complain about it. He never heard Chris Doyle himself say something derogatory. I don't believe you can hang around a racist for 21 years and not say something racist. I don't believe racists are that good. At least the ones that I've met in my lifetime, they can't hide it for 21 hours, much less 21 years. Am I wrong here? Somebody please tell me on the chat board. You think you have a friend or a family member that can hang around you for 21 years and you not know that they have a racist bone in them? 21 years. All of you on the chat board, please tell me. Yes, it's possible. No way. One of those two. I want to hear. Because I find it near impossible. that you could actually hang around someone every day for 21 years and that person never gave you an inkling that they were racist. I'm sorry, Kirk Ferentz, but I call that complete BS, bro. I don't know about you guys, but you tell me on the chat board. Okay? You tell me. Is that possible? Man of 1,005 Holes says, that's too long. Alex Toledo says, not possible. What a joke. Drubo says, Publix for gotta get fam food. Rich, there's always eating. There you go. Man of 1,005 Holes. Colin was given offers by Seahawks and Broncos and said no. Well, that's because he thinks he can't be a backup. It's this whole thing that he doesn't want to reprove himself. And at this point, that's what you have to do. That's why I said he should have gone right to Canada. That would have been a slap right in the NFL's face because he's balling out in Canada. Media's writing articles, and now it really looks like an ugly black ball. Now, you know what I mean? Now you got to ask, your team's struggling. They don't have a quarterback, and Kaepernick's lighting it up in the CFL. And you're like, well, wait a minute. You have a quarterback in the CFL that is lighting it up. How do you not go after that guy? But, you know, what can I tell you? Kaepernick didn't really want to be, I'm telling you, he didn't want to be a quarterback. He's what he is now, a social activist, and good for him. Let's see. What do we have here? MLB's draft is garbage since most of the picks don't go immediately to their MLB team. Herbert Valdez says, impossible. He probably agrees with him. Yes, that's what I was going to say next. That you tell me you hang around a guy for 21 years and he is not racist? Come on, man. Seriously? You're going to hang around a guy for 21 years and tell me he's not racist. And you're never going to get anything. It just doesn't happen. There's no way you're around somebody for 21 years and they never act racist. There's no part of me that can believe any of that. And what Herbert Valdez said is the part that's kind of disturbing and could be true. That he could be agreeing with him. A couple things I also want to mention. Well, when it comes to some of the protests, first of all, really cool what they did in Washington with the Black Lives Matter, painting it on the street and renaming the street. I think it's, all this awareness is enormous because the good thing is for the black community, okay? And let's not overlook this because I just talked about it with Iowa. We have given women a little bit more confidence in coming out and talking about sexual harassment in the workplace and things like that, right? And now, it's a different workplace nowadays in this world, right? Completely different. HR is huge in a lot of businesses now, right? And everybody watches their P's and Q's, and women are sexually they're they suffer less embarrassment in the workplace when it comes to these kind of situations because people are more conscious about it. The ones that are sick that think about it, okay. The rest of us that don't. The thought of grabbing a woman's ass or whatever at work, I mean, to me, it's just like, wow, you know what I mean? Or making advances at somebody at work or so. These are things that don't even cross my mind. You know what I mean? But the fact that it has with these sick individuals, we have kind of straightened that out a little bit, not completely. Women are still suffering negativity out there, and we're not going to eliminate racism. But we're now putting it front and center like we did for women, that now we're giving the black community the confidence to come out and talk. And then, like the Iowa football players, not only are they talking, But now we're listening. Now we're actually paying attention. Now we're actually acting. Now, first of all, I still want to temper any enthusiasm for anyone in the black community and the rest of us. Officers have been charged. They have not been convicted yet. When I start seeing convictions, then I know the progress is being made. Right now, you're just doing PR. Okay? Let's be very clear on all of this. Right now, what the Buffalo Police Department did with those 2 officers, what Minnesota's done with those 4, and everything else, it's all window dressing. Because a year from now, if I get a not guilty verdict, then we have made no progress and you're just lying to me. Okay? So this is a nice step forward. But convictions are what's going to send the message. Just like all these men that have been fired and all these, the Weinsteins of the world, all these people that have been exposed for sexual harassment in the workplace, now we have put that out on notice. We have now taken a small step for the black movement. Okay? Small. We're not there yet. Not even close. What we have done now is create awareness. Okay? And it's beautiful to see that most of the people protesting are not black. Okay? I mean, I think the black community is a small percentage of our country, right? That's how it should look in the protests. It should be the same percentage of white people in this country or Asians or Hispanics or every other nationality that's not black should be out there. And guess what? That's exactly what's happening. The black community is out there representing the black community, but by their percentage, just like everybody else. It's awesome. It is so cool to see the diversity in that group. And you can see a lot of youth, because a lot of us old people, we can't go. Because I know there's a bunch of you out there like me that you're like, damn, I wish I could go and, help out a little bit and all that, and we can't. Because I'm terrified, personally. I'm not lying to you guys. I'm terrified. You know what I bought yesterday? I bought a UV light thing to clean my phone and my keys every day. It's a thing that you put inside, you close it, and then that UV light goes all over and it kills all the bacteria and germs and all that other stuff. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Because I'm terrified, bro. I don't want to catch this crap. You know what I mean? I don't know. I got a wife and a child. I gotta somehow survive here. You know what I'm saying? I gotta somehow survive. So just one of those deals that it's just it is funky, man. By the way, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can reach out to us on Twitter. That's at BigORadioShow. Follow us there. Yeah. Wow. Okay. One of my producers just got COVID. And it's not Bill, it's Philippe. Oh, just got that right now. That's the text I'm reading right now. I'm telling you about COVID, and now my producer's got COVID. My video producer. The guy that puts all this stuff on YouTube and dresses it all up and it looks all nice and all that. That dude's got COVID now. Wow. Okay. I feel terrible. I got to call him now. I'll be calling him in a couple minutes. But anyway, I'm talking about it and look at it. That's how paranoid I am. Oh, Lordy. Man, that is. Did you guys see, by the way, that Brittany Breeze ended up also apologizing? So not only did Drew Brees apologize twice, but then Brittany Breeze has now followed up. And she posted a lengthy message on Instagram. And she put, I write this with tears in my eyes, and I hope you all hear our hearts. I have read these quotes and scriptures 1,000 times, and every time I read it and the words sink into my heart, I think that yes, this is what it's all about. Only until the last few days, until we experienced the death threats, we experienced the hate, did I realize these words were speaking directly to us. How could anyone who knows us or has had any interactions with us think that Drew or I have a racist bone in our bodies? I don't really look at Drew. I told you that. I don't look at Drew like the other people. I think Drew just made a really insensitive comment. But that's just me. Hey, listen, you're all entitled to feel however you want. But that's the whole point. Somehow, as we, white America, we can feel good about not being racist, feel good about loving one another as God loves us. We can feel good about educating our children about the horrors of slavery and history. We can read books to our children about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Hank Aaron, Barack Obama, Rosa Parks, and feel like we're doing our part to raise our children to love, be unbiased, without no prejudice, to teach them all about the African Americans that have fought for and risked their lives against racial injustice. Somehow, as white Americans, we feel like that checks the box of doing the right thing. Not until this week did Drew and I realize that this is the problem. To say, I don't agree with disrespecting the flag. I now understand was also saying, I don't understand what the problem really is. I don't understand what you're fighting for. I'm not willing to hear you because of our preconceived notions of what the flag means to us. That's the problem. We are not listening. White America is not hearing. We're not actively looking for racial prejudice. We have heard stories from men and women we have known and loved for years about the racism that has occurred in their lives. They're stories that were never shared or talked about because somehow they were considered normal. To all of our friends and anyone we hurt, we will do better. We want to do better. We want to hear you. We want to fight for you, because thinking we are not part of the problem is checking the box. It means we are not doing enough. It's our job to educate ourselves. We are sorry. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty freaking awesome. Okay? And again, I'm going to say what I said on Friday, I think it was, and even on Thursday. Drew said something insensitive, but the kid in Buffalo, there's no sorry, there's no apology, there's no Drew Brees, there's nothing you can tell me, Jake Fromm. Okay? That's a racist. Vic Fangio, old white guy that came out and said, oh, I don't see any racism. That's an old white guy trying to say all the right things for all the wrong reasons. Because that's what you're supposed to say. Because that's what you were taught. Don't let other people know that there are things that are wrong. And so he's part of the problem. Because that's ignorance. And Jake Fromm, that's hate. I think Drew was insensitive. I don't think Drew has a racist bone in his body. I think Drew Brees is one of the better human beings on planet Earth. I really do. I think he's much better than I am. Okay? Not saying much, but I'm just saying I think he's a great dude. Okay? And I think he's truly remorseful. I think he had that old military type point of view, not a racist point of view. I think he was just too hooked with the military. Because my dad's, rest in peace, but he's also a veteran. He served in the early 60s. So I'm the son of a vet. But the idea of the vets is that they fought for us to have freedoms to express ourselves and to protest. So that's actually what they fought for. And Drew Brees missed that part. And now he realizes it. You know? So I thought that was pretty cool, Brittany Brees, to come out the way she did and say those things. I think that's classy. And again, Brees screwed up, okay? And you are entitled to screw up. I'm entitled to screw up. But it didn't come from a place of hate. That's the only thing that I would tell you. And I feel 1,000% confident that Drew Brees will follow up these words with actions that are impactful. He'll do something that is way better than most of us for this cause. And he's already doing it, by the way. Immediately when he answered back to the president, who obviously, you know, the great divider, wanted to do his thing, and Drew Brees was like, no, I'm not having part of that. Drew Boat, no, it comes out eventually, but people are very good at hiding bad behavior. Yeah, you're right, but not for 21 years. Not for 21 years. You cannot hang around your friend or your family member for 21 years and they never say anything racist. I just find it impossible. And not a 21 years where you see them once every couple of weeks. No. 21 years where you deal with them practically every day. No, impossible. And hours on end a day. No way. I can't. Michael Clark says, I agree, Big O. Ron Lee says, as a father, if anyone grabbed my daughter, my wife, the ass whipping they would get from my wife or my daughter, they are both into martial arts. I don't know if you're talking about that dude that attacked the kids, but if you're talking about that guy, I personally would have tracked down that guy and I would have kicked his. In fact, I want to kick his ass right now. Actually, I would love to be put in a room with that guy, just to teach him a lesson. I'm not really a violent guy, but if I see you doing something that is abusive, like kids or animals, or women, I will probably lose it. Because to me, that's unacceptable. And the way he terrorized those children, my Lord, that is as disgusting as it gets. I personally would enjoy kicking the living crap out of that guy. I would love to see him come at me and try to take those pictures away. That would be therapeutic, is the way I would look at it. So, if anybody can set it up, I'd love it. I'd love it. Pound the crap out of him for charity. Oh, that would be fun. Although I'm sure there'll be a line, because I'm sure there's a lot of guys, especially if you're a father and you saw that. I'm sure there's a lot of fathers like me that are just livid with that guy. Frank Rivero says, Big O, do you think NFL players will once again start kneeling this season, given what's happened? What do you think, dude? What do you think? Try this. Entire teams will be kneeling. Not players. Entire teams will be kneeling. So expect that, Frank. And for you butthurt folks, it all happens before the game. So please don't start with that stupid ass line that some of you use out there. Well, I don't want kneeling during my game. There's no kneeling during the game. They kneel during the national anthem before the game. Okay? Turn on the damn game right at the kickoff. That's it. Put in a record, fast forward to the kickoff, and then move on. If it bothers you so much, even though you're watching people get killed all the time. Alan D says he got caught, by the way, the cyclist from Maryland. He did. Oh, so good. I hope they're charging him with assault. You and I both, Big O. I was ready to hunt him down, and I don't even have a kid. Very therapeutic. We can be a tag team on his punk ass. No, I don't even want it unfair. I don't want us to. No, it's either or. I think either one of us can take care of that dude. Okay? Anybody that is gutless to attack children, that guy has no balls. All right? A man will take that guy down easily. So, that's That's one guy that was disgusting, dude. That was disgusting. And how about the wow, we've done 65 straight minutes? That's amazing. No commercial breaks, huh? You don't get that anywhere, do you? On radio? Can they go 15 minutes without taking a break? Can they go like 8 minutes with going, what do I talk about next? Usually that's why they need 2 or 3 hosts. Anyway, you look at the Buffalo situation before I wrap it up here. You guys saw the 2 officers that pushed a 75-year-old man, which is a disgusting video at every level. He's 75. You know he's old. He's not attacking you. And you bully his ass and just push him down. And then you just walk away from the guy. And you see the blood seeping out of the back of his head. If you saw the raw video without the footage that blurs his head, you don't get to see it. But if you saw the raw video, you immediately see the blood gushing out of the back of his head. It is a scary scene. And so they suspend the 2 officers, which fire them on the spot. Those aren't people that belong on the street. Just like the Poherence loser from Broward, Fort Lauderdale cop. That guy needs to get fired right away on the spot. These aren't people that are mentally capable of being cops. So then what happens? 57 officers from Buffalo then step down. Let me explain something to those 57 losers. Hey, bums, if you can't see what was wrong with those 2 officers pushing a defenseless 75-year-old man, you don't know what protect and serve is. Look, man, if there's a guy wielding a machete at you or a gun and you shoot him and beat the crap out of him, I think we all will egg on the cops to do that. But when you're grabbing a woman who has no weapons, no nothing, and you're tearing her out of her car and down to the ground and tackling her and push and a girl that's protesting, you shove her into a curb and she hits her head and smashes her face. You push a 75-year-old man that is questioning or asking you something. You know what you had to do with that 75-year-old man? Let me explain to those Buffalo meatheads out there or any other cop that's watching, okay? Because if you don't have any common decency and you don't know how to protect and serve, you freaking animal with clothes on, okay? When that 75-year-old man comes up to you, you show leadership, you show guidance, you show protection, you serve by grabbing that man and looking at him and saying, "Sir, how can I help you? Let's step aside here a second and let's talk while everybody walks so we don't hurt you. What can I do for you, sir?" One of the officers stays back and just listens to the man. Whatever question the old man's asking you, you then answer it and you say, "Thank you. You have a terrific day. We're gonna try to keep this place peaceful and we're gonna help everybody in their protest." And that's it. You move on. That's what a decent human being that's out to serve does. Because you look at the person and it's not a person that's there to hurt you. None of us are ever going to pick on the cops if there's somebody that's actually attacking them and somebody trying to hurt them. But George Floyd was not trying to hurt you. That 75-year-old man's not trying to hurt you. That girl that's protesting, not trying to hurt you. And this is why the system is all screwed up. And this is why we need to fire their asses. Okay? That's the important part. Firing their asses on the spot. Send the message that that kind of behavior cannot be tolerated. That's all. I don't find it that hard to grab that old man and say, "Hey, let's move over to the side here. We got a bunch of officers. I don't want you to get trampled. What can I do for you?" You got 50, 100 guys. One guy staying back to answer the old man's question a second. Protect and serve. You protected him by moving him to the side away from the crowd. You served by listening to the man because we don't listen, right? That's kind of the problem here. We don't listen. These cops, some of them have this attitude like, okay, my law is the only law and that's it. It's my reasoning, it's my way and that's it. And what you're doing is completely wrong. And we're clearly seeing that on video, many of you are doing the wrong things. Like I said, good cops need to eliminate the bad cops. And Joe Paterno did not eliminate the bad cop in Jerry Sandusky. He kept around the bad cop. And that bad cop kept molesting kids. And as far as I'm concerned, everything that Joe Paterno ever accomplished in his life means nothing to me, because he's one of the biggest scumbags and lowlifes in the history of college football. Because he protected a pedophile. Kirk Ferentz has protected a racist for 21 years in his football program. And in my eyes, he's an enabler, because there's no way he's been around a guy for 21 years and that guy never acted in a racist way. I just don't believe it. And I don't believe that a player never complained to Kirk Ferentz in 21 years. How do you like them apples? So something's got to be done. But what I keep saying, and I keep posting on Twitter, keep the cameras rolling all the time. And we're going to keep exposing these racists for what they are. And I'm super happy that we've given the black community what we gave women and what we've given women. That voice of power to come out and talk that that man sexually harassed me. And that man is being biased against me. And now we're finally listening to women. Now, the one thing, my one suggestion would be to the black community, let's not screw it up also. Okay? This is very important. Very, very important to everybody out there. Because women, unfortunately, have been hurt by the evil women that are gold diggers and going after people for their money and accusing men of things they didn't do. So then we don't believe all the women when they come forward, right? And Jussie Smollett did not do the LGBT community any favors by creating an attack that was fake, because then that does not help the hate crimes that we have going on in the LGBT community. Because now the next time somebody says, are we sure it happened? Or is this another Jussie Smollett? So what I would tell the black community is, we don't need to make anything up. There's plenty of racists out there, and they're getting exposed. Okay? Let's not accuse anybody that didn't do it, because that will hurt the cause, like it's hurt other causes. So let's get it on camera. Let's get it on audio. Let's get these people out of positions of power. Okay? Let's teach these people lessons. Let's expose them. So that way we can create, we are creating better generations. Believe it or not. While these millennials and Generation Zs, I think they're kind of soft, they are more accepting of others. I've told you that before. They're better at accepting others than all of the prior generations. I like that. And I think that's part of our development as a country, by the way. Okay? Because, remember, we have voted in gay councilmen, gay mayors, gay governors. We haven't gotten to a gay president yet, but it'll happen one day. We have voted in women counselors, women senators, women governors. We eventually, a woman ran for president. Eventually, we'll vote one in. And we have blacks in all the same kind of positions, even president. Okay? So don't tell me that there's not a lot of us, because there is a lot of us. There's a lot of good people, and there's a lot of us that don't look at color, don't look at sex, don't look at sexual preference. We don't care about any of that. So some of us in America have made progress because we've proven it. You don't make progress by voting in gays, women, and blacks. Okay? Oh, and some Hispanics too. I can throw that in there, and Asians, and they've all been in certain positions. So we have made progress as a country. There's a lot of us that aren't racist. But that percentage that is, they're loud. And I don't think they're the majority, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? There's a reason why we're voting in gays and women and blacks in positions too. Okay? It's because we are making progress. There are some of us that are good people, and we look at things, we look at human beings. That's how I like to say it. I look at human beings. Okay? I just look at a man and a woman. That's it. I don't look that you're a Baptist woman and that you're a Catholic man. I don't care about that. So we have made a lot of progress. The key part of this movement is, let's expose the real racists. Okay? Let's not hurt what we got going on right now. We got a lot of momentum. We got a lot of movement. And remember, the people we're getting out of these positions, they probably hate other things besides blacks. Okay? They're anti-Semites. They hate the LGBT community. There's going to be a combination. Okay? You think that person only hates blacks? No. Okay? When you're biased, you're going to have several biases like that. So you're going to be against something else. So we're helping other communities in the process. And that's what we have to do. We got to eliminate the hate against the LGBT community. We got to eliminate the sexism, chauvinistic approach, the sexual assaults on women. We got to eliminate abuse of kids. We got to eliminate animal cruelty. Obviously, we're working on now to try to, bridge the gap between the black community and eliminating racism. We got a lot of problems in this country. We got a ton of problems in this country. Okay? But I think we have made progress. I don't want to make it sound like our country is completely terrible, because it's not. Okay? People of minority have more freedoms, and they are in more positions of power than they ever have been. So there are some of us that look at things objectively. You know what I mean? We just got to get rid of those that are in the way and are not doing the same thing. That's really the key. What do we got here on the text line? It says, tune in at 110. Media is our biggest enemy. I don't know what that means. What's at 110, George? You got to tell me what that means. All right. Flipside Fishing says it was coming out of his ears. What, the blood? It's just terrible. Jay says, we are all Americans. Let's stop putting words before it. We the people, not us versus them. United we stand, divided we fall. Brotherhood of man. Amen. Amen. Super Boom Shack says, good morning, everybody. Where you been, Super Boom Shack? We've been here for 80 minutes. Holy crap, I've been talking. I was going to do about a half hour. I go, you know what? I'll do a half hour today because, I didn't do anything on Saturday. So what the hell? I'll do a half hour. And here I am doing 80 minutes of talk. Anyway, I got to thank all of you out there, as always, keeping it locked here on our program. You guys are absolutely awesome. Really appreciate it. We will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. like normal. And we'll have some fun out there, and we'll get it going. And we'll rock and roll. And we got a bunch of things to talk about on the show tomorrow. I promise you that. So we'll get that going, and we'll have some fun. You all out there be good. All right? Make sure you chill out and enjoy your Sunday. Stay away from crowds. And if you go protest, try to keep some distance. Please wear a mask. I see so many people protesting without a mask. God, I cringe. I cringe. I know, I'm sorry, I'm paranoid about it. But if you had 5 stents in your heart, you would probably be a little paranoid too. And if you're in your 50s with 5 stents in your heart, which, not fun. But anyway, thank you all out there as always. I appreciate you guys. Man of 1,005 Holes says, thanks for getting my Sunday rolling, Jeremy Dorset, Big O, I just sent you an email on ESPN, The Future of Baseball. I am terrified of the future of baseball. I'm actually more terrified of the future of baseball than COVID-19. I think eventually we'll figure this coronavirus out and we'll get the what's it called, the vaccine and all that stuff. But for baseball, I don't know if there's a vaccine that'll fix that stupid sport. These guys are idiots in that sport, man. It's amazing. It really is. So all you guys out there, Flipside Fishing, Julius 305, all of you out there, thank you all for tuning in as always. Much love. We will see you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. You all be good out there.